we have a very special guest that's going to be coming to us today. Many of y'all that are regular listeners to Gianni Journey Media are no stranger to him, but for those that are new, let me go and let you know we have Brother Philip Shock Matthews. He's best known as the host of the Philip Matthews Show on radio, TV, as well as blogs, which has over, it says 4.6 million, but I know you got more than that now, collective listeners. As a result of the success of the Philip Matthews Best Internet TV show, Philip Matthews has been touted as the Oprah of the Internet by co-author Chicken Soup of the Soul, Mark Victor Hansen, by Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, calls Brother Philip the Marcus Garvey of our time, and I have to agree. Philip Shock Matthews Show features thought-provoking conversations with world-class thinkers, social entrepreneurs, and change agents on topics and subjects of critical race theory, social justice, anti-racism, anti-racism, historical, intergenerational trauma, and genetic memory, which is also known as epigenetics, by the way, comedic science, metaphysics, racial socialization, and the healing and racialized poverty. We're gonna talk here today. It's about to go down. So if you would, family, welcome Brother Philip Shock Matthews. There we go. The crowd, they go, wow.
What's going on, Brother Hatim? It's good to see you again, man.
Good to see you as well, man. And it's been a while because, like I said, we recently reconnected in late 2020. 2020 has been wild for all of us.
2020 has been wild and out.
Absolutely. Right, man. 2020 is one of those years that's going to be forgotten, and it's going to be dropped in the dustpan of history because a lot of stuff stopped for a lot of people. But for those that have, in a sense, clung onto the system that you have, it seems like it might be sort of a prosperous time.
No doubt. I was with Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kamene the other night, and that's exactly what we were talking about. And that is, we're putting together this major conversation about the efficacy of affiliate marketing and digitalnomics and social media marketing at a time when you're not able to leave your house, you're not able to go to your job, you're not able to function, or you might not even have employment or a job. And what was crazy is I wrote this book, Digitalnomics, 5 years ago. And here it is, because I've been living this sheltered in life for a number of years, where I've earned enough money, I make enough money where I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to work on a plantation, if you will. And now here we are in a situation where this work, this concept and process is more relevant than ever before. And it literally saved many people's lives. I mean, I know it saved Kaba because, he was a speaker. He would go out and get hired, and he would, travel overseas and around, of course, around the world and everywhere in the country in between the continent. And now what is he going to do? So he's literally earned more income online than he's ever made doing speaking engagements. So it's a different time. It's an interesting time. But what I have learned over the years is that with every test, there's a testimony, and with every crisis, there's a new level of consciousness that is created and raised. And this is what you and what I and many of us are trying to get to our people as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
Now, but some people might be listening right now and being like, well, Professor Hiawatha Kamene is world known or world renowned, so it would be easy for him to get on here and to be able to practice this principle of Ujanomics, because he knows a lot of people, but I don't know a lot of people. How could this system assist someone like that?
It assists, and it's a great question too, by the way, brother Hatem. It assists because there were people who were making literally seven figures, minimally six figures, and you still will never know their name. Affiliate marketing levels the playing field. It gives the quote unquote common man, woman. You don't have to have PhDs and letters behind your name. You don't have to have a lot of economics to do it. All you have to do is share it on your social media platform of choice. Share an affiliate, a unique affiliate ID on your social media platform of choice. And the goal is, I just did a training. We just launched our first frequency affiliate marketing ambassador program, and we kind of chose key and specific people around the world who rock with my ministry, First Frequency of Oneness, and we created an entire system, 50-50 Maathian split for them to do affiliate marketing. And I did this PowerPoint training, and one of the slides was a quote that I got from Les Brown, who I had been interviewing for 25 years, 30 years, who got me in the game of speaking and training, seminars and what have you. And he says, strangers will make you rich. And so I never forgot that. And so if we can get out of our heads that having a couple of hundred people on our Facebook account is not enough, that there literally are a minimum of 4 billion, if it's 6 billion people on the planet, at least 4 billion of them are all melanated people. And so if you're not going after tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, then you have been conditioned. That is a learned response to play small. And so the goal is that there is enough. This is why they always say there's enough to go around. But if you're in that small, limited thinking, well, so-and-so is a celebrity. Okay, well, that's great. It might be a little quicker for that person, but it's not impossible for you. Because it's about social media. It's about socializing. It's about building a network. It's about building a following. It's about increasing your numbers of people who are following either your page. I think on your personal account at Facebook, you can only have 5,000, but you could have really 5,000 people. That could be very lucrative for you if you're sharing something that really changes people's lives.
So, because you talk about like this thick and small piece, what's wrong with our people that we might think small? Because there's something that's going on. What's up with that?
So, unfortunately, we have, as I have analyzed this from every particular angle, we have been conditioned to be modern day sharecroppers. And we're in slavery. I get in trouble a lot when I say that. Here's what Kanye really meant to say, right? What he really meant to say is that slavery is a choice today. That if you are in a JOB, a just over broke, you are enslaved, and it's a choice. You can make a different choice, and most of us feel stuck. And I have, of course, I specialize in African and African American trauma, so I understand why we're stuck, which is a trauma response. But when you look at the concept of a job, here you are working on a plantation for a white corporation or a white person that you have to get up and go to every day, and they are responsible for your lifestyle and responsible for you eating, responsible for your kids going to school, responsible for your rent or mortgage payment, responsible for your car payment, in service to whatever your job description is. And that is modern day slavery. Just over broke is a job. Now, we have been conditioned in this European Western system to become happy slaves, to become grateful slaves, if you will, because you go to school for X amount of years, and if you are literally lucky, you go to college, but you might end up going into debt going to college, and so now you are, 40, depending upon what type of education you're getting, you're looking at 4 to 8 years of research and study. Then you get the job. The job only pays you not even close to half of the commitment of what it took to get the education, and then you have to pay back the fee for the education, which most people never get a chance to do because they don't make enough, because now they're trying to raise a family, they're trying to buy a house, pay for a house, and have some level of semblance of life and lifestyle. And because they're trading their time for a particular dollar amount, if it's $25 an hour, they'll never make $100 an hour. They'll never make $500 an hour. They'll never have wealth. Their income is set and locked, and that slave wage is set and locked. So the goal of this economic system, particularly for the African American who does not have education and skill set, is for you to run out of time and die with your music and your potential still in you. That's the bottom line of what we're up against economically. And so we need to have and engage in what I call I don't call it, but it's called disruptive economics.
Disruptive economics. All right, because I was listening to one of your talks, and you said something happened to Black folks. There's nothing wrong. So even when I framed the question, I framed it with blaming the victim in mind. I had to think back about that. Can you explain that it's nothing wrong with Black folks?
That's absolutely correct. So I've been doing extensive research on this and using my own life as a guinea pig on this research, and doing a Sankofa, if you will, and going back to come forward. And as I continue to do that process of going back, coming forward, going back, getting information and bringing it forward, going back, getting more information and coming forward, and then taking that information and applying to my actual life, I realize, oh my goodness, nothing is wrong with me. Something happened to me. And so as a result, it began to change how I moved in life. And so then I decided to share this concept with the community, and began to I ended up going back to school and got my ministerial license, got my master's in metaphysical science and philosophy, currently working on my dissertation. So my doctoral program is in the same subject. And I decided to dedicate the remainder of my physical existence to teaching Africans and African Americans in the diaspora that you are not sick. We're not sick people. We're sick from being captured, corralled, and controlled by sick people. Our children are not bad. Something bad happened to them. There is nothing wrong with us. Something happened to us. And so that something that happen to us is trauma. But if we don't understand the levels of trauma, the manifestations of trauma, the subtleties of trauma, we sorry, that's my reminders going off there. Sorry about that. Didn't turn that off. We will never we'll hear it, but we won't be able to incorporate it. We won't be able to internalize it. It'll just be something, yeah, okay, yeah, I got trauma, but you'll never be able to activate it, get rid of it, understand why you're doing what you're doing, because trauma, like a parasite, takes over the personality and acts like a personality. So you think how you're acting and how you're being in the world, particularly when you are in a trauma response or you are triggered, you think you're acting normally, and so does everyone else, because they don't know that's not Hatem. That's his trauma personality now. And so when people say, that's just the way Hatem always been. He always acts up like that. He always does that. That's just who he is. And when you understand that personality, that trauma becomes so much ingrained that you start to lose your own self-identity, and then it's just trauma bodies meeting other trauma bodies. And so when I talk about this concept of being around sick people, my goddess is a nurse of 40 years, and she hit me to a medical term called secondary syndrome. And a secondary syndrome is when medical students, like in their second year, began to come down with the symptoms of the diseases in which they're studying, which is placebo, but because they're around it and immersed in it so much that they take on those symptoms and personalities. Well, when we are around Europeans, the Amu, what we call second frequency in our ministry, we become sick because we are in proximity to them constantly, because we can't live, our lives are not exclusive where we can live not being around them. Now, this is actual scientifically based research from Dr. William A. Smith, from Dr. Tommy J. Curry, who did the research and called the research racial battle fatigue. And what happens is that from the time that we are born, we are immediately racialized, and we are immediately bombarded, saturated with racial socialization. And so as we grow up and we start to maneuver in life, it becomes a fatigue. We start getting tired. We go after a goal and can't get it, and we fall behind, and then we try to go another direction and we hit another wall. And so all of these things we start failing at, and then the next thing you know, our lives begin to shrink and become smaller. Our trauma increases, and so now we're just walking bags of PTSD. And we're wondering, why am I so angry? Why am I so enraged? Why am I so unhappy? And it's because we are suffering from secondary syndrome of being around, captured, corralled, and controlled by the Amu. And we never had a chance. We never known peace because we were birthed into it. And so, I can go deeper into that aspect of trauma if you want, but overall, that's the gist of it.
All right. So let me ask this, because you are moving towards your doctorates in metaphysics. Mm-hmm. So let me ask this. What is the connection between metaphysics and economics? Because we are on Ujamaa, because everything you said, because I can hear, but I want us to bring it home for the people. What does metaphysics has to do with economics? Is there a connection there?
Metaphysics is the concept of as above, so below, as within, so without. Meta is the celestial plane. Physics is the terrestrial plane. And the concept of metaphysics is basically learning how to collapse time, how to create an intention that manifests in real time or in a specific amount of time, which we call demonstration in the metaphysical community. Collapsing time, when I started to Africanize, because metaphysics is a European concept. There is nothing written on the walls that says metaphysics. It's completely made up by the Amu. But what we've done is we've taken it and we have Africanized it. And we looked at the concept of metaphysics of collapsing time and creating intention and creating wealth in real time. And I looked at the societies of ancient Africa and even currently today. And so the pillar, if you will, of metaphysical African thought would be Dogonic thought, or the Dogon. So when we understand that there was a consciousness we had before the conflict with the Amu, but most of us have been born into the consciousness after the conflict. And so it creates a level of confusion for us, and it causes our time to elongate. That I have an intention of Ujanomics, of wealth, but it takes me so long now to build it. There's so many barriers to it. Whereas before, when we were in the consciousness before the conflict, we were instantaneously able to manifest whatever level of wealth we wanted to create or have, whether that was food, whether that was clothing, whether that was shelter, whether that was civilization, building pyramids, dynasties, cities, nationalities, so on and so forth. When the Amu showed up, not only did they steal us, they stole our time. And as a result of stealing that time, now it takes us a long time, if at all, to manifest our reality. And so the goal of the Amu is for the African and the African American to run out of time.
Did y'all hear? So in running out of time, it makes it very hard for us to create businesses and to work together, because we got trauma bodies running into each other, which cause a conflict. And then within that conflict that was brewed by us being in contact with the other, you know what I'm saying? It makes it very hard for us to manifest the institutions that we need in our community in order to actually be able to create the reality that we need to exist in.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I hope y'all listening. Now, if somebody in the family wanted to get in contact with you, or they wanted to check out some of your stuff, of course, we're gonna have links down below, or above, however they pop up. But anyway, how can they get in touch with you?
So lessonsinshock.com is the easy URL to remember. So because my moniker is Shock, which stands for Seeking Higher Omnipotent Conscious Cosmic Knowledge, but Lessons in Shock.
Say it again, slow form. Shock means what?
Seeking Higher Omnipotent Conscious Cosmic Knowledge.
Okay. So
that's Shock. And so Lessons in Shock is a 10-part series on everything manifestation, in terms of what happened to you, understanding trauma, understanding quantum entanglement, how we're entangled with the Amu, understanding the connection between ancestral memory and genetic memory, and how we come here with certain proclivities and propensities. It goes into how to collapse time, how to set intentions. It goes into spiritual development theory. So it's a doctoral discourse that I just give away free to the community, so that we can all be on the same frequency, same page, same level of understanding.
Ashe. And we want to thank you here for joining us for this Kwanzaa. Hopefully y'all got shocked and got a better understanding of Ujamaa. I want to thank them for the community. Ohio thanks you, and of course I thank you, and we will be talking again. Thank you very much.
All right, my brother. Talk to you soon. Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay.
Watch the next video. Watch the next video. Watch the next video. No, I'm just joking, family. Family, thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us on the next video, family. Peace. Watch the next video. Watch.